Yeah, okay, well, I guess, yeah, I'll jump in because speaking of blockbuster film franchises,
Oh boy.
I watched
I'm
one
ex-
this weekend.
did you?
I did.
Oh, I'm excited.
Well, so hey, here's the thing. I talked a little bit last time about feeling some that cape exhaustion, that MCU tiredness, having watched.
Even the phrase cape exhaustion is giving me cape exhaustion.
uh, that little bit of that everyone feels, where it's just like, yeah, you're, and I think too, if um to try and just reset things after Endgame and go like, okay, the Thanos arc came and that whole bit wrapped itself up, and to just try to be like, let's do it again is a brutal uphill task.
You
Um,
can't you can't name it end game and have it end and everyone stand there and going, oh, where it's all finished
mhm.
and it's all done. And then have some, but next week, like, man, that doesn't work for movies.
I mean, this is all just a part of like my larger gripe with media, which is that
Mm-hmm.
things don't end.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I just it's a repeating theme that I feel like I'm gonna be complaining about for the rest of my life. But things don't ever end, and like
That's a constant,
it
like
sucks.
internal lack of consistency when we talk about games, though, right? Because you're like, I really wish everything was new and unique. Meanwhile, let's cut to the supercut of both you and I like coming in our pants at the DMC5 trailer.
Yes, yes, but at the same time, I'm always willing for them to grab that in the things I love and present it to me in a completely different way. No one in earshot of me right now would have predicted or asked for Automata from the Nier franchise, but the idea of more Nier but making things better and cool is a good idea. We're down for that. That
I
story was
don't
a lot
know.
of fun.
I think there were people going, I would like to play a character action game with slutty robots.
Yes, but
In fact, I think that is a pre-existing genre.
what I'm getting at is just to say, like, if you can deliver more of the bones of the ingredients that we love, it doesn't have to be the specific continuation of something that should have wrapped up.
Yeah.
That's it, you know. But anyway, this is going off in a long different direction because the thing I watched where I didn't feel this, in fact,
Yeah.
was Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I heard all sorts of good things about that. I also heard me and Paige were like tempted to go watch it. And then we got like the explicit warning that was like, if you have trouble with watching bad things happen to animals, don't go to watch this movie. And she was like halfway pregnant at the time. And we're like, we don't like, this seems like a bad idea for us to go watch this.
It's really good. And boy, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. There. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's you know, and I realized early on when it dropped that like I was like, this is so quiet in its marketing. It's for what I would usually from the bombast I would usually expect of an MCU main title. This was surprisingly like, hey, James Gunn dropped it. There it is. It's out. Go see it. And people going, wow. And that was kind of it. It was quite surprisingly, you know, just mellow in its drop. And I think it's like it fucking hits, man. It's one of those things where you're basically I would say go check it out because that continues to be that's a nice thing to enjoy it despite the feeling of, again, we're post end game kind of tired, you know.
But luckily the Guardians, like all that, gets to live in space, so far away from any ideas of Kang stage 4 whatever.
I mean, I haven't seen, you know, Quantumania and stuff, but I mean, all it really matters is like if you can just, you know, like James Gunn does here, you tell a story in a you know fairly isolated way that it can and will have to connect to
I
MCU
don't.
things
Yeah, I
because
mean,
it does. But for the most part, you're focusing here on like Rocket's origins, and that's what the story's about, right?
I mean, Cape fatigue and all that. I mean, Wooly, if you really want to, be up to date, you're gonna have to see the inaugural a role of Kang played by Jonathan Majors, because he's gonna be a big deal
Yes.
going forward in the MCU.
Let's see.
I don't know if you know that.
Let's see what happens when the lever gets pulled. What's the opt out plan here? There's no elegant way to do this. I don't.
Yeah, somebody in the chat mentioned it. Quantum Mania, like the whole movie is to set up a villain that they decided they're not going to go with later. The movie is like actively pointless because people were talking about it's not even good.
Mm-hmm. So,
but like it existed as like a stepping stone to something that might be good later. But that thing's not going to happen.
I heard that Thor is supposed to like not Thor. That Loki is supposed to like try.
I heard great things about Loki.
Loki season 1, I had a lot of fun with it, but I heard that like what they're planning to do is use Loki season 2 to kind of re-aim where they were going with Kang and stuff. But I haven't looked too much into
all the
it,
way over to Doctor Doom.
Are you hearing me fine?
Yeah, I'm hearing you just fine.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So anyway, the all this to say that if you just I think you can still tell pretty good isolated stories, and James Gunn did that with this, and Guardians 3 is absolutely worth checking out. It is fair warning for like if you there's not, it's not just animal cruelty. It's like there's other stuff going on in that as well that is pretty overall sad. It is a bum vibe superhero movie.
Okay.
For sure. It is one of the most bum vibe superhero movies, but definitely like one that is it's bum vibes, but it's still like in Guardians of the Galaxy style. So it's quirky, it's fun, it's charming. The characters are doing their bits, and there's a whole lot of just like they know if that's a weak point for you, if they know they can tug at your heartstrings, they're gonna open you up and yank at them. It's but I definitely would recommend it as one of the few post Endgame recommendations.
It's a good movie, but what does it set up at the end? Like what's the thing to see at the end for the next thing?
I mean, they introduce Adam Warlock, which is pretty cool.
This thing, like whatever. What's the next thing?
The characters do their things. Everyone does their bit.
I don't understand.
Yeah. I'll even say that like with introducing Adam Warlock, which is a character I was curious to see how they're going to handle it. It is done in a way that is completely not what I expected at all, which is great, which is really, really fun. Like I feel as if any other setting, director, movies, like any place else, Adam would have been played the way you would expect him to be played. Which is the fucking Infinity Stone god that he is. And here it's literally fucking meme kid that's like, you guys got paid?
Yeah,
it's that kid.
It's dumb child.
That kid's Adam Warlock.
Oh no! All right.
And like I don't know if that meme is the reason why he got hired. Like it might have been for other things. I believe he was in another series? Was it Hunger Games or something? Anyway, but he's basically just like Adam Warlock, but but like created too early. So he's younger than you would expect him to be, and thus he's that fucking kid. I was quite surprised to see that casting of him and then playing him in this kind of goofy way, because he's such a mystical, fucking serious, super strong badass from,
Mm-hmm.
of all the cards that we used to have, the Marvel card collection I had, he was one of the ones where you flip it back and like, oh man, his numbers are all maxed out. He has like 9998 on his stats.
Oh, he's crazy
He's
busted.
so strong, and it's just like, yeah, no, fuck it. He's a fucking nepo child, like little shitter
Made out of gold.
made out of gold, and you're gonna play him for that weirdo that he is, and it's I'm like, cool, that's a fun way to do it. But yeah, definitely one of the few I'll recommend. I'm also like,
He was in The Maze Runner.
there we go. Yeah. So
He ran mazes.
I think it's probably just like, even though the subject matter is going to be all tied in and shit from here on out, it's like, okay, if James Gunn knows what he's doing, then like, so be it. Well, like it'll just have to come down to, do you trust the director? Do you think James Gunn or Taika are going to do a good job on this? Then like, go check that out. But maybe not just because you want to see what Black Widow is up to. Perhaps
Fucking dead.
perhaps yeah.
What?
So
Oh right, there's a Black Widow movie coming out, right?
it came out. She's wearing the white suit.
What?
She's wearing the white suit.
Oh fuck, I can't even keep track anymore.
Mm-hmm.